Welcome to the Mystic Media channel. I'm your host, Rabina Rastaban, aka the Realist Astrologer, and I have with me my special guest. She's the third guest for my intimate interview series. Her name is Andrea Lige-Sadder. Welcome, Andrea. And Andrea is an author of 2 books, and she sent me both of the books, so I'm very happy to have these 2 books, and I read them both. And I'll just let Andrea just introduce herself and also explain these books.
Okay, hi everybody. Happy holidays. My name is Andrea, like Rabina had said, and actually I have my books with me as well. These are my books, Project 4,
Okay.
and Treasure Box. This is my baby right here, Project 4. To give a little bit about me, I'm a Georgia native. Middle child. I'm proud of that. I don't know why, but I am. And I started writing this book once my mom passed away from cancer. I seem to write books best when I am going through something.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't actually publish the book till 12 years later.
Wow.
So, yes.
But I'm not surprised. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
The title of my book is normally what catches people's attention is called Project 4. And a little bit about the book is the mother is the reason why the book is called Project 4.
Okay.
She, in the book, if Rabina read the book, and if you are going to read the book, the mother, I don't want to give too much away, but her way of life is pretty much by laying on her back. And her thought process is to have her daughter do the same way because she wants money. That's what she wants to do. And my character, Keisha, which is the main character, doesn't necessarily want to be, quote unquote, what a whore is, but that's her way of life. That's all she knows. Because if you read the book, she has opportunities to do other things, but always falls back on being a quote unquote whore in this book. And I wrote this book because every book doesn't have a happy ending. And in this book, you kind of see like you're not sure what's going on. You want a happy ending. You want Keisha to come through, but you never know what the end is going to be.
Okay. Now, is there going to be a third book? Because I know Treasure Box is like the sequel to Project Core, and it was a nice transition into that second book.
I'm not sure. Everybody asked because I wasn't even going to write a sequel for Project Core. I was just going to end with Project Core, which is something that I wrote and I just wanted to get out there. So I'm not sure if I'm going to write a third book. I'm working on something, but my books are so sexualized. I'm trying to get a little bit away from that. I'm working on a book called Sex Stories, Fact or Fiction, which is still sexualized. And then I have a children's book. So I don't try to stay in one genre. I try to just do whatever I like.
Okay.
But everybody is asking for a third book to see what happens at the end of that with the other characters.
Well, I'll definitely say both books were page turners. And I noticed my video is kind of like lagging. So I apologize if, it sounds kind of slow or whatever like that. I'm hoping it clears up. But anyway, both books were page turners. And this is like my measure of a good book. If I put the book down because I got things to do and I'm thinking about can't wait till I get back to the book. So that's how it was with both books. I was like, because they were really juicy and so Scorpio. Both books were, and Andrea's a Scorpio, y'all. She's actually has the same exact birthday as one of my sisters. So when she told me, I was like, same year, everything. And when she told me, I was like, wow, and then she said, well, your sister must be pretty amazing. I'm like, she is. And my sister is phenomenal, and you are phenomenal as evidenced by your writing. And
thank you.
Yeah, and I just like your and I can see this in your chart too, like your imagination just takes you to this place where, and it's a dark place. And I see that in your chart as well. So I see what you mean about, the heavy sex, because there was a lot of sex scenes in the book. One particular, and I'm jumping around because I have a list of questions, but I'm going to get to this right now because this part, it wasn't supposed to be funny, I don't think, but it had me laughing. And this was in Treasure Box. I'm almost certain. It was the whole interchange, and I'm not going to give away too many details for those who want to read the book, but there was this interchange between Divine and Jug.
When it threw him that his cousin, that part.
Yes.
Yes, yes. So it was funny to me and like shocking.
Yes, very.
I love the shock value. So yeah, it was supposed to be a little to make you laugh and be like, oh. So
Now,
yes, that
was there any inspiration for that particular story? Like, do you know guys personally that have gone through something like that?
Well, I know guys who've been to jail, but
Mm-hmm.
they never actually. I had one person say something happened, but not to the extreme that I put in a book. I just went a little extra with it.
Yeah.
But yes, I do know a
But
couple people.
the thing, and this is another measure of a good book, how you can visualize when you're reading it, like how it's going down. And that's what that part was just kind of funny, just the way Jug was just, this hyper aggressive male, but then he had this other side to him. And I was just like, that was expertly written, how you just, put that into the book and that whole element. You had a lot of twists and turns in your book, which I like as well, especially dealing with Devon. Devon had a lot of like secrets and like twists. Oh man, I was just like, wow.
Yes, Devon did have a lot of twists and turns. She actually really loved this man. She really did love him, but he loved the cousin, of
Mm-hmm.
course. And I wanted to show him for who he really was,
Mm-hmm.
which was I don't want to say the typical man. I'll take whatever I can get. He
Mm-hmm.
desired Keisha because she was passionate, she was outgoing, uninhibited, but he loved Monique because she would be somebody you want to present to the world.
Right.
So he was just caught in between the two. But he did have some feelings for, Keisha.
Yeah. Another mark of a good writer is I like your character development. I liked how you had me all conflicted inside, even with Devon, because there was some redeeming qualities about Devon, like how, he had all this love for Monique and, both of his girls actually, and how he was really trying to do the right thing, but he would just get caught up. And he did have a really, hateful streak. I'm not going to give away the details about what he
Mm-hmm.
did and all that type of stuff. But the same with Keisha too. Like Keisha, I definitely like Keisha, but then there was some decisions that she made that I was just like, whoa, like wow.
You don't have to
Also,
do that when you're going to
yeah,
get off the train.
also with Pam, like Pam was one of my least favorite characters, naturally least likable. But when you broke down her background story, when you talked about her past, then it caused you to develop compassion for Pamela.
And
So
that's
yeah.
what I put outside of what I do, because I do motivational speaking too as well.
Mhm.
And I work with people that have mental health disease. So when you're working with someone, you never really know their background. And even in my background, I had not the best childhood. I had to start looking beyond what I actually seen in front of my face
Mhm.
in order to forgive and move forward. So that's kind of why I threw that in there
Okay.
about with her parents and everything like that.
Yeah. And just to let you guys know, if you read the book, you can't be soft reading this book, because you're gonna be clutching your pearls like, oh my God. But it's real. Some people really go through stuff like this. So let me ask you some. Oh, so question I have, why did you make Monique a Leo? Because I noticed that in the beginning of Project Horror, because I believe it was Monique you were talking about being a Leo.
Yes. I made her Leo because I think Leos are like really strong. Their outward appearance is really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
They're very driven, I feel. I don't know. I just feel like they're very driven, very strong. So I wanted her to come across as, I think Leos are very beautiful too.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted her to come across that. Every Leo I've met has been kind of like strong, and they just like, they go for what they want. They really do.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually book smart, and so is she. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
I chose her to be a Leo.
Okay.
I don't know if that's accurate as a Leo, but that's why I chose her to be one.
I could see Monique being a Leo for real. And Monique had this naive, she was a bit naive.
Very.
She was definitely more naive than Keisha was. And
Yeah.
also not because no, okay, so Pamela and Jackie were the sisters.
Yes.
Pamela had Keisha and Jackie had Monique.
Correct.
Correct. And then Keisha had Treasure,
Yes.
and Monique had Harmony.
Harmony. Yes.
There it is.
Correct.
Now, I noticed that you didn't mention any signs of the other ones, so I'm going to throw out some of their names. You tell me what signs you think they would be.
Okay.
So, what do you think Keisha's sign would be?
I think Keisha, even though I hate to say this out my mouth, I think Keisha would be a Scorpio.
Okay.
Because of her loyalty to her family.
Mm-hmm.
She's hypersexual, so I would think she would be a Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
I would think Pam would be maybe an Aquarius, because they can come across ice cold sometimes. Aquarius or Gemini, because she could flip flop.
I'm glad you said Gemini, because I swear Pam is a Gemini. I was like, because when I was reading, I was like, she's a Gemini for real. Yeah.
Yeah. Or I would say Keisha could either be a Taurus as well too.
Okay.
Who was left? Jackie, I would say would be I would say maybe a Sagittarius, because she loves her family. She's gonna work, but if you push her into a corner, she definitely gonna come out fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I could see Jackie being a Sag, because Jackie was very forgiving, and
yes.
also I'm not going to give away this one part, but there was like this adoption theme with Jackie, and that's very Sagittarius too. You know, helping out someone like that. Yeah.
Yes.
What about Devon? What sign you think Devon is?
I would say Devon would be a Pisces.
Okay.
Where sometimes I don't know how true this is just the Pisces I dealt with. They can be with somebody and still be with whoever they're with. Like, he's with Monique, but he can go out and be with Keisha, and he ain't leaving Monique for her, but he can still do it. But it's going to take care of his family. He's going to take care of his daughters regardless. He don't really care how either one of them feel about it. He's going to take. So I feel like he would be a Pisces.
Okay. Now, one of my favorite characters, even though he was dark-sided, well, he was half and half dark-sided, Xavier. What sign is Xavier?
I would say Xavier is, maybe in Aries.
Okay.
Maybe in Aries, I would say.
I could see that. All right. And then what about Treasure and Harmony?
So Treasure and Harmony. Harmony is a lot like Monique, but I would say Harmony would be a Libra.
Okay.
Balance.
Makes sense.
She's naive too. Very into what she looks like. So Libras are or Virgo, they're very much into what they look like as well. And I would say Treasure, she's so hardcore.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's hardcore, so somebody who don't take any shit. I would go with a Sagittarius too.
I was thinking Sagittarius.
They take no shit at all. So,
yeah. And she was about justice. She was like,
yes.
And the freeing of her mother and all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, what character could you relate to the most?
I can relate to quite a few of them. I can relate to Keisha in the fact is how it's like loyalty to the end, almost to a detriment. And for me, sometimes that can be a problem, like loyalty to the end. I can definitely see that. And I can also relate with Jackie, because I'm meant to keep my family together regardless. Sometimes you have to step away from family, but if you push me in the corner, it's going to be a problem.
Right.
So I would say Jackie and Keisha I can relate to the most.
Okay. And who did you dislike the most?
I dislike Pam the most.
Okay.
Because she never really took the time, even though she was going to get help, to really indulge in the help, and she just never saw her wrongs. It was always pushed off on somebody else. So Pam was the one I did not like at all.
Yeah, she was hard.
And I made sure that when I made that character, people just would not like her.
Yeah, because I especially before, her whole background was explained, I was just like, wow, she was something else. Now, what are some of your main challenges as a writer, especially in writing these books?
My main challenge would be to not to go too far, because I can go quite far to not offend. Even
Mm-hmm.
though people were offended by this book, Project Horror, people definitely offended by that. Not so much Treasure Box, but definitely Project Horror. I had some people that were offended.
Mm-hmm.
So, and finding time to actually write is hard for me. But
Mm-hmm.
as far as like going into my characters, I can get into a character and really get into it. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
problem getting into a character.
Okay. Now, you mentioning that some people had a problem, some people were offended by, especially Project Horror. What would you say to those people? Because I'm sure, this might come up, especially, people that are of the pro-Black persuasion. What would you say to people that say, well, your books, they feed into stereotypes about Black people. They glorify violence. They glorify, hypersexuality. What would be your response?
If we don't actually look our truths in the face, we could never really fix them. How can
Mm-hmm.
how can we break generational curses? How can we have a healthy sex life without, being hypersexual and knowing exactly about health? You have
Mm-hmm.
to actually face your problems in order to be able to grow from and fix them,
Yes.
and not, do the same thing over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I liked how, in terms of the sex scenes, I liked how there was like different varieties, and I like how you pushed the envelope even with some of the things, because I consider myself to be very educated on just the different facets of sex, different sexual desires, and all that type of stuff. And some people I know, reading some of the material, they would be like, "What?" And they would think it was like so far fetched, some of the stuff that some of these guys were into. But I'm like, nah. Like some of
Not
these,
far-fetched
yeah,
at all.
it's real. Exactly. Some of these people are really into that, and especially nowadays, people are you know, pushing it further because sex is just so rampant and it's so in your face. So people are constantly looking for that next thrill or that new thrill or whatever like that. Now, let me ask you this. So, in terms of your personal experiences, did you draw from any of your personal experiences when writing some of those sex scenes?
Rabina, my life was so boring. That's probably why I wrote the book.
I had a feeling you would say that.
It
Because I was
really
like,
was.
yeah. Because I was.
And
Cause,
people read the book and say,
mm-hmm,
"Are you anything like your characters?" I'm like, no. Some of the stuff I may have wanted to do, but I have never done.
mm-hmm,
To be sexually liberated, I would say, not
mm-hmm,
like because it is lesbian scenes in here, and I'm not interested in that. But my life was so traditional.
mm-hmm.
I got married when I was 19. I've been in a marriage for 25 years, just now getting out of one. So now I'm a little more sexually liberated than I have been. But
Okay.
no, just a boring bedroom life.
Well, I had a feeling you would say that because when I was looking at your chart, I was like, wow, she's tapping into her shadow side, the side that you don't express, outwardly to write this book. Because I don't know if you know this with your chart, but you have your sun in Scorpio. It's in trine to your south node and Saturn and Cancer in the fourth house. And the fourth house deals with your shadow side. Cancer deals with your shadow side. So yeah, and that's an aspect of a storyteller. So yeah, you're tapping into the dark side. Everybody got a shadow side. So everybody got a dark shadow side. And some people express it outwardly at times. Some people don't express it at all. You found a channel for yours through writing. And it definitely shines through because your writing is so real. You would think that you lived that type of life the way you're writing it. Like, wow.
A
Yeah.
lot of people think that when they read my book, because if you meet me, I'm kind of reserved and laid back
Mhm.
and quiet until I get to know you. So when you read the book, you're looking at the book and then you're looking at me, and it's like these two don't really match.
Mhm.
So I get that a lot.
I wouldn't be surprised if in one of your past lives you did live kind of like that, where you might have been a pimp or you might have been the bottom bitch or something like that because of what I see in your chart. Cause yeah, cause if you're not expressing that, in terms of who you are, but it's in you, you gotta
Mm-hmm.
ask where did it come from? You know what I mean? So
Yes.
because your south node is involved, I definitely feel like you're tapping also into past life energy, and that's helping you in your writing as well, which is very interesting. Now, another question. Now, would you ever consider writing a screenplay?
I've always wanted to write a play. I've
Okay.
always wanted to. I just, I think I need to carve out time because I'm always so busy. I just give. I need to step back and do some things. But
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted to write a play, always. Because I
Mm-hmm.
think I'm funny. I mean, I think I'm funny.
You had me
Anyway.
laughing at times, especially some of that dialogue. I was cracking up. And honestly, I can have like a dark sense of humor. So sometimes when people were getting smacked up, I was laughing and stuff, and some of the insults. So yeah, it was like really it was a feast for my eyes. So I was like, yeah. Now, what are some of your favorite books?
My favorite book is The Coldest Winter Ever. That is my
Okay.
favorite book. By Sister Soldier. I love that book.
Okay.
I don't read a lot. I normally am somewhere doing some monthly type thing, but that is my favorite book. I can read that book over and over again.
I
And Dope
heard that
Fiend
was
was
a
a good,
good book.
yeah, Dope Fiend was a good book too.
Donald Goines.
Yes.
Girl, let me tell you about, man, when I first got introduced to Donald Goines, I think I was like 17, 18. I was like, this is hardcore. I mean, his
Wasn't
book,
it?
woo! I think I read Dope Fiend, and what was the other one? Black Girl Lost or something like that.
Yes, yes.
Yes, his books are so graphic, but they're page turners too.
Yes.
I really learned a lot about heroin reading his books.
Me
I was
too.
like, damn. And the sex scenes, if I can remember correctly, were really hardcore.
Oh, yes. With the dog and everything. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you bringing back
Remember?
memories. I'm gonna have
Yes.
to read that book again. Oh my God. Yeah. Yes. Now, what about some of your favorite movies?
My favorite movies, I like Girlfriends. A
Mm-hmm.
Girls Trip,
Oh,
not
Girl
Girlfriend.
Trip.
Girls
Okay.
Trip. Color Purple. I like Terms of Endearment. I like a variety of different types of genres. It's not like I stick to one.
That Terms of Endearment gets me every time at the
Yeah.
end. Oh my
Yes.
God.
Yes.
Yeah. That movie makes me cry every single time.
Me too. I don't know why I watch it, but I do.
Now, your book, a big theme in your book is prostitution, naturally.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is your stance on prostitution? Do you feel like it should remain illegal? Do you feel like it should be legal but regulated, or do you what is your stance?
Well, I guess this may be the pimp in me. I don't know. I think if I'm going to be out there having sex, well, I think I think it should be legal but regulated. I think it should be at the point where people should be checked, so we're not transmitting any kind of diseases. People, if that's what you want to do, you should get paid, get taxes and all that for it, if that's what you want to do. Me personally, I wouldn't be comfortable just having sex with all those partners all the time. But if that's what you like and you want to do, I'm not one to judge anybody. I'm really not. But I think everything should be regular, especially in that kind of field. I think it should be regulated.
Okay. Now, why do you think prostitution is still illegal, whereas someone can go do a porn film and that's perfectly legal?
I'm not sure why that is. I would think everything leads back to money, but you can make money either way. But how could you? Everybody's going to want to capitalize on that. You can capitalize on a porn movie because then you got people making the movie. You paying this person to make it, you paying this person to shoot it, you paying this person to edit it. When you prostitute, and it's kind of hard to regulate the money. Because you can do that at a building, you can do it at home. So I guess it's hard to regulate that. And if somebody's not getting a mighty dollar, then they don't really want to regulate that.
I think you're right about that. It's about money. It's about a hard time regulating something that can be done behind closed doors, all that type of stuff. I also feel like it's a woman thing. I feel like because, a lot of women would be able to, make tons of money if it was legal. I don't think they want that either. So,
no,
yeah.
they want to. If they're making money, if they can't get the money, yeah, it's just like selling weed. If you're selling weed, and now everybody got all these shops where you can go and get your little medical. I can't even talk. Medical marijuana card and get whatever you want. When people were just selling on the street, it was nothing. But now that you're making money from it, now you capitalize.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right, now Let's see. Do you have any regrets about the books that you've written? Anything you would have done differently?
No, I'm the type of person, when I do something, I do it and I don't really look back at it.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted Project Horror to be exactly what it was. I wanted to be shocking. I wanted to be like, oh my gosh. But I also wanted people to think about, if you were anywhere on this train when she was reading this book, that you need to get off before you become the ending.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely wanted that. Treasure Box, the same thing. I just want a continuation of the journey of her life. That's all I wanted. So
Yeah.
it's exactly what I wanted it to be.
Okay. And I noticed that every woman in that book, and maybe, I don't know, maybe not Asia, but just about every woman in that book was
She's a
very
strong woman.
strong.
Very strong.
Mm-hmm.
Very. And that's another thing. I am to lifting all women up. It doesn't have to be Black women, but of all women, I want to come across strong. I come from a family of a lot of women, and we
Mm-hmm.
are very strong. And women can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I was a pimp in former life.
Yeah. I won't be surprised. Now, how important, now I'm going to ask you some kind of, they're not personal questions, but questions that are kind of more philosophical. How important is sex in a relationship to you on a scale of 1 to 10?
This point in my life, it's probably like a 9. It's very
Okay.
important to me for somebody to match me on my sexual level.
Okay.
Because I don't want to be a 9 with a 2.
Right.
Because that's going to be a problem for me and a problem for our relationship.
Right. Now, you mentioned that you've been married 25 years, but
Yes.
you're about to leave this marriage. This marriage about to come to an end?
This marriage is about to come to an end. Yes.
Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how was your sex life in this marriage?
I'm going to say a 5.
That can't be good. I
Not
don't
at all.
like the way 5 sound. Now, when you say 5, are you talking about in terms of frequency, or the quality wasn't that great?
I'm going to say as an overall whole, because I'm a very passionate person. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but being with me is like an experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I want the same thing. And I just wasn't getting that
Right.
in my marriage at all.
Okay.
I wasn't.
Now, in terms of a marriage, do you think that one partner should be obligated to fulfill another partner's sexual need? And I'm not saying anything crazy or anything like that, but let's say that one partner expects to have sex at least once a week, but the other partner is more of the once a month type. In terms of making a marriage work, how do you compromise?
Well, that wouldn't work for me. I think before you even get in a marriage, you need to sit down and say exactly how you want to be loved and what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't express that, it's going to be messed up from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm saying I want to have sex once a week and you're saying you want to have sex once a month, we got a problem already.
Mm-hmm.
We already got a problem. And I'm not one to do something I don't want just to please you, because eventually I'm not going to like you. I'm just
Right.
not. And I feel the same way. So no, I don't think I should have to have sex with you, or they have to have sex with me because I want it once a week and you want it once a month. I think those things should be worked out before you even get into the bedroom.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about that.
All right. And what are some of your sexual turn-ons?
I like, if I'm having sex, I like for someone to talk to me.
Okay.
I mean, it could be dirty, whatever. I love somebody to talk to me. I love someone to kiss on my neck, touch my skin. I love soft music, nice lighting. I love that. We could do a little bit of spanking, anything like that I like. I don't want you to beat me down, but I don't mind if you spank me a little bit. You can spank me a little bit.
What about getting tied up? What if he wanted to tie your hands behind your back?
If it was tied loosely, yes.
So you can get out of it.
Yes, if I need to. You can't tie me up tightly.
Yeah, I've never been that, you can tie me up type of chick. What are some of your turn-offs?
If you want to be spitting on my vagina, that would probably turn me off.
Okay.
I'm real particular about my vagina. If you if every time I turn around, you tell me you want to have anal, that would probably make me wonder if you was a man, why would you want to have anal with me all the time? That would be like a eye raiser to me.
Now, have you ever been with a guy where he wanted that all the time?
I haven't, but I've just
You
talked
have.
to my girlfriends, and when they be like, he wants to have anal all the time, it's like, really? All the time? And and if a man doesn't smell good, well, you probably wouldn't get close to me if you didn't, but I love a man that smells good.
Okay.
That's a definite turn on.
All right. Now, define love. What is love to you?
Love to me now is different than it was for me when I was younger. Love for me now is I want somebody who's compassionate with me, who can be honest, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. I just want honesty. I don't want anybody making decisions for me that I don't know about. I'm going to build you up. You're going to build me up.
Mm-hmm.
Is love to me. That's love to me. I'm not into this fairy tale thing because I don't even know if I'm into tradition anymore as far as love.
Mm-hmm.
Like traditional roles and everything. I don't even think I'm into that anymore. I don't. I really don't.
So would you ever get married again after this marriage?
You ask me right now and that would be no, because I don't want to feel as though I have the answer to anyone.
Hello. That's what I'm
I don't want to see you every day. Like I want to see you, but I don't want to see you every day.
Yeah. I can relate.
So I'm kind of turned off to marriage.
Yeah, you and me both. And you've done it for 25 years. I've never been married, so you have plenty of experience in that department. What was good about marriage? You said it was hard, but what was good about it?
What was good about marriage was I knew if I came home and I had a hard day, I automatically had somebody there.
Right.
That was a good thing and a bad thing because it depends on how they was there for you. If I didn't have it, I knew that he did. So that was the partnership was a great thing. But I seem to get a lot of partners, not a lot of like somebody like passionate lovers. So I don't know. I'm not looking for a partner, like a soulmate type of thing. I'm not looking for that. I'm good on my own. I can get my own. I'm looking for something different.
You looking for a little fun? You looking for a little romance?
Experience?
Yeah.
I don't want to. Eventually, I do want to be in like a real relationship where we go out together and you come over. But I don't want to see nobody every day right now. I just don't want to see someone every day.
I don't blame you, especially when they're at their worst. You know what I mean? Who got time for that? Yeah. All right. Now, this one you might have to really think about for a minute, so you don't have to, rush to respond. What are 3 things that you learned this year? Since this year is almost out, what are 3 things that you learned this year?
I've learned to trust my intuition.
Okay.
I've learned that I love differently now.
Okay.
And I've also learned not to be afraid of success.
Okay. Nice. Now you said not to be afraid of success, but you've already written 2 books. So
sounds crazy, right?
Yeah.
I have a variety of things that I want to do, and sometimes I allow opportunity to slip me by. And I think sometimes I'm gonna put 100% into something when I really could and get something really beautiful out of it.
Okay.
So instead of when opportunities come my way, I'm like, I don't know if I should do this. I'm not sure. I start to second guess myself. I start to say reasons why I shouldn't do it instead of just saying, jump in. Only thing I can do is yes or no. Either I can fail or succeed. So this year's like, I'm not even thinking. If opportunity comes my way, I'm just grabbing it and running.
Nice. Now, let's say it was 10 years from now. 10 years in the past. And let's say that somebody came to you and gave you some wise advice that you wish you had 10 years ago. What would that advice be?
It's going to sound horrible to some people. I would have told myself or somebody, I wish they would have told me to get out then and start loving myself, to actually really love myself and to embrace my uniqueness. And if anybody liked it, they did it, they didn't. Oh, well. And not to give of myself to the point where I'm self-sacrificial.
Okay.
So I would definitely have jumped off the ship a long time ago.
So the whole marriage thing, that's kind of like a sore spot in your life, huh?
It is a great thing and the worst thing in my life. It was great because I had beautiful children, successful children, but it was hard because I lost my complete self in a marriage. Like I was
Hmm.
just somebody's wife and mother. I didn't really have
Okay.
an identity.
Okay. Now I know, I think it's on one of these books you talked about that you wanted to help teens. Um, motivate. You said motivational speaker. Um, into all youth and youth families around her community. Currently standing as an outreach specialist who speaks to young teens on the prevention of sexually transmitted infection, teen pregnancy reduction. So scenario, you know, you're doing your outreach and a 14-year-old girl comes to you. She tells you that she's pregnant. She's scared that if she tells her mother's going to kick her out. She doesn't know what she wants to do. What is some advice you would give her?
Well, I've been in that scenario myself. Um, and I've taught the girls in that scenario. The first thing you want to do is let them know they're not alone, because you really want somebody to feel comfortable.
Mhm.
And I would talk to her about going to the doctors. I would go with her myself, because a lot of teens think that because they have medical um, insurance that their parents will find out. That's
Right.
not that's not true. And I would offer to go with her to speak with her to her parents, because in reality, that's something you can't hide as a pregnancy. Like
Right.
you can't, depend on how far along, you just can't hide that. And I would offer to go with her and to
Mhm.
speak with the parents, and we can take
Mhm.
the brunt together.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you know this woman, but she's like some type of, I think she's a relationship counselor, but I follow her on YouTube. Her name is Deborah Cooper, black lady. But she's always talking about relationships and how women need to be more empowered and stuff. And she had this one video where she was talking about teenage pregnancy. And what she said really made me think, because she said that she feels that a lot of black mothers force their daughters into keeping the baby, not considering the long-term effects, the long-term consequences of being a teenage mother. And she was basically saying that by forcing a teenage girl to go through with a pregnancy when all the odds are against her is basically setting her up for failure. What is your opinion on that?
I would agree with her on some of that. My mother, I got pregnant when I was 16, and her words were not keep, or her words were either you get an abortion or you get out and keep the baby. And
Hmm.
I actually decided to have my son. But I agree, you will be completely behind the eight ball if you become pregnant as a teenager and keep the baby. It's hard because your mind is not mature enough. You will start to regret it, because I regretted myself. Like when everybody's going to a prom, I'm home feeding a baby. Like I'm not going to a prom.
Hmm.
When everybody go away after they graduate, I'm not doing those things. You start to feel those things once you get older and have a two. If you had a baby at 13, 14, or 15, you got a 4 or 5 year old by the time you get out of high school.
Hmm.
So I would agree with that. It's harder. It is much harder. It
Okay.
does set you back from your goals, your dreams. If you want to go to college, how you want to go to college with a baby?
Hmm.
And depending on what kind of parents you have, either they're going to help you push you forward, or they're going to be like, you go out on your own and figure out you want to be grown, you figure it out. We have a lot of that in our community. You grown, you figure it out.
Hmm.
So I do
Yeah.
agree with that.
I think sometimes we could take that whole tough love thing a little too far. And, that just, it's like a domino effect where maybe we could be more about preventative measures. So I really commend what you're doing, being an outreach specialist, all that good stuff, trying to, help at-risk teens and all that type of stuff. Now, do you ever get any young males coming to you confused about their sexuality or anything like that?
Absolutely, because especially with the Black community, it's just so shameful to be a Black gay man.
Mhm.
It's shameful, and you have to start teaching young men to love themselves for whatever, because the suicide rate is high for Black gay males. So absolutely, they come to me talking about sexuality, talking about different types of sexual positions. A lot of people don't even know how to put a condom on. So, yes, or
Mhm.
somebody who is in love with a woman and they're female themselves and they don't know how they feel about it, because people are so judgmental. And it's crazy because we are such a more sexually liberated country now, but people
Mhm.
are still very, very judgmental. towards people.
Right. So you had a few elements of like, down low in your books. So what if you found yourself in a scenario like that? You've been seeing this guy for, let's say, 3 years. You love him, he loves you. You find out, that he's, slobbing this dude's knob on the side with his homie that he's been dealing with for the past 10 years. How do you deal with that? Could you deal with that?
Let's be honest. And hell no, I can't deal with it. I'll be honest with you. I can't. You slobbing somebody knob and trying to kiss me in my mouth. No, I can't do that. I'm going to have to let you go ahead and be with him. I'm going to have to let you go. It's not that much love for me. I don't want to share nobody in general. But you can't even be honest with me. You want to be with a man. No, go ahead and be with him. And I'm fine with that. It may hurt, but I'll be all right. I'll be all right with that one.
It's kind of like a double-edged sword with men that are bisexual. And because more so than women, because the whole LGBT, that B stands for bisexual, but it's like men can't freely be that B. They can't freely be bisexual without being castigated, unlike women. Women can be bisexual and men look at that like, oh, that's sexy. A lot of them do, or that's not a threat. But a man declaring bisexuality, a lot of people will say, nah, you just gay. But there are some men that are truly bisexual.
Yeah, he could be bisexual. My thing is not even about you being bisexual. My thing is, are you with me only?
Yeah.
That's my thing. I don't have a problem with you being bisexual. My thing is, don't be with somebody else when you're with me.
So you would date a guy that used to mess with a man back in the day, but let's say you were done with that.
I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I'm just not going to judge somebody who would.
You said, but no, I wouldn't.
I'm just not going to judge somebody who would. I'm just not. Don't lie to me about it. Be honest.
Is it because you feel like once a man has gone that route that there's always a chance that he'll go back? Or do you just feel like, okay, a man being bisexual, that basically is part of who he is, and that's just not the type of man that you want to be with?
That's just not the type of man I want to be with. I just don't. I don't have a problem. I know people who love being with bisexual men. They say the sex is great, and it may be, but I just don't want to find out how great it is.
So you got some girlfriends that like being with bisexual men?
I got a friend who likes being with a bisexual. Yes.
Oh, wait. Does she ever? Have you ever heard of that term, pegging?
No. What is that?
Pegging basically means when a woman, takes a dildo or whatever and penetrates a man with it. So does she do that?
She never said if she did. I never asked. She never said. But she just, probably so. The sex is so good in the bedroom. What are you doing in there? That's not a normal sex. So what are you doing?
That's right. That was in the book too. Oh, that just made me think I want to see. What was it, in the kitchen?
Yes.
The neighbors, the freak ass neighbors. Jones, I think that was it. Now I'm remembering, because I love the twist, because first it was, I think, Pam and Mr. Jones, and then next thing you know, it's Pam and Mrs. Jones, and then I'm just like,
what happened here?
Yeah. All right, so let me see, we got about 14 minutes left, so couple more questions, and then I'm gonna get into the whole this or that. So if you saw the second interview I did a little this or that, which hopefully you'll find it a little fun. So but before that, what do you fear more, physical or emotional pain?
Emotional pain.
Okay, why?
Physical pain heals up. Emotional pain stays with the mind forever, I feel. I think it's harder to get through and get over.
Yeah. And what would you say, aside from death, would be some of the greatest emotional pain that you could experience?
Well, this is an actual true story. This is my pain. I'm finally working through it. I had a disconnect with my grandmother. And this happens a lot in the African American community. I wasn't light enough for her. And she had me color struck for the longest time. I thought being this complexion was the most ugliest thing. So that was really hurtful and painful for me and hard for me to get through.
Wow. That is some deep
Yeah.
emotional pain right there that'll just stay with you.
Yes.
And it's so funny, because I saw elements of that in the books too. Not,
Yes.
it wasn't strong themes, but I did notice that there was, elements of colorism, like little touches of here and there, and that's very real within the Black community too. Things that I don't like. That's one thing about Blacks that I hate to acknowledge, that I don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
That I don't, because I grew up. My mom is high yellow. My dad is very dark. So it's like I had, two ends of the color spectrum with my parents, but we never really, color wasn't an issue in our household.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't until, I dealt with friends and, schoolmates and all that stuff that I saw, oh yeah, this, colorism thing is real. And I'll never forget, I had this one boyfriend, I was about 18, and never did I question, my color or anything like that, but he like made it a point to say, "You're the darkest girl I ever had. You're the darkest girl I ever been with." And I remember like that fucked my head up for a minute.
Yeah.
Cause I was like,
Yes.
why is he making a big deal over this? And like he
Just
would show
imagine
me,
growing up like that.
yeah. So I could just imagine, and I'm just like, that
Yes.
shit is
Both
crazy.
of my siblings are really light skinned. Both of my siblings are.
So you
Yeah.
had the whole comparison thing going on. Would your grandmother blatantly do the comparison thing?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. She would do that. My older sister is biracial, and my younger
Okay.
sister is really, really light. And she didn't hold no bars about how much she didn't like me because my skin was dark.
Mhm. Wow.
So that was my whole childhood.
Now, what was her complexion?
My grandmother was biracial as well.
Okay.
Her dad was Cherokee Indian. Her mom was black and white. So she
Okay.
looked nothing like me. She had red hair and blue eyes. I looked nothing like that. So yeah, she did not like me at all.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy. All right. So that is some serious emotional pain. Now, so let's take it to the other end. What would be one of the greatest joys you could experience that you have not experienced yet in your life?
I think I don't know. I really just want to touch lives. I think I have, but to see a beautiful transformation from beginning to end would be amazing for me. Because
Okay.
I realize that's like my favorite thing. Words are my most favorite thing. They can change lives. They can make you happy. They can make you sad, optimistic, emotional. Words are beautiful. So I just want to see a transformation, a beautiful transformation.
I like that you said that about words. So give me 3 words that you really love.
I love the word sensual. I love the word experiences. And I love the word loyalty.
Okay. Why experiences? That's interesting.
I love experiences. Now in my life, I'd rather have experiences than things. I love to go somewhere and just soak up everything about it. If I go to a museum, I want to soak up the artwork, the artists, the surroundings, the foods, the drinks. I love experiences.
That is so Scorpio. That is, because with Scorpio, a lot of times it's not about the end goal or the finish line, it's about the experience. And that's why Scorpio will run. Like Scorpio is one of those signs where a lot of them, they love to run. And even if they're not winning the marathon, even if they're not winning the race, it's the experience. It's the pain combined with the rush that they get, that runner's high, combined with pissing and shitting on themselves sometimes. Because like running is very Scorpio, because they like those
That's crazy.
hardcore
I
runners.
love running.
Yeah, you love running too?
I love running. I
See,
run
that's so
Bleachers every
Scorpio.
Sunday.
See, so Scorpio is like, but you know how some of them runners, they will take it so far where they don't want to stop and they will go to the bathroom on themselves. I've seen it in these races and stuff. That is the essence of Scorpio, though, being die hard, like pulling out all stops. I'm going to keep going until I don't have nothing left, till I drop dead. And that's one of the beauties of Scorpio. And like I said, you and my sister share the same birthday. She's a runner as well. She's ran in quite a few. I don't think she's ran in a full marathon yet, but I know she's done like, you know, what would those be, like 5K, and
Yeah,
did 10K and stuff like that. So yeah, that whole running thing, and y'all always need to burn off some steam too. So
absolutely.
do you ever get ideas for writing while you're running?
I do get ideas from writing while I'm running. That's why I clear a lot of my mind at is when I run, and where I get my creative thoughts from is when I'm running.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, here we go. Now we're at the this or that portion. One of my favorite parts. Okay, so I'm going to throw out 2 words. Don't think too hard, but just, you know, tell me which one per preference, or just one, you know, you prefer over the other or whatever. So, lemonade or iced tea?
Lemonade.
Interesting. I'm a circle one because these actually will tell you a lot about a person. So that's cool. Lemonade or iced tea. Ketchup or hot sauce?
Ooh, ketchup.
Ketchup,
I like
okay.
them mixed together. I like them mixed, so I don't know. Ketchup.
Okay. Yellow or orange?
Yellow.
Benz or Beamer?
Benz.
Gold or silver?
I like silver.
French or Italian?
Bonjour, French.
Okay. The beach or the mountain?
I would like the beach. I like water.
Well, you're a Pisces rising, I'm not surprised. And Scorpio. And your moon is conjoined to Neptune, which is, that could deal with you like being by the water, but it can also deal with you. That's really good for writing, because it's like you're tapping into your imagination. Your imagination is vast. Are you into like crystals and stuff like that?
I'm starting to get into crystals.
You make me sick right now, because my sister is right where you're at right now. She's recently got into crystals, and now she is like a fanatic about crystals. So
I'm researching, like, what does it mean? How does it heal?
That is interesting. So in a minute, you're probably going to become obsessed with crystals, because that's where my sister is right now. She is like obsessed with. She sent me some crystals, for my birthday. So yeah. All right, beer or wine?
Wine.
How did I know? Yeah, you definitely look more wine than beer. Book or movie?
It depends, but I'm gonna go with movie.
Okay. Black or purple?
Purple.
Taurus or Capricorn?
I'm gonna go with Taurus.
Why Taurus?
Because my son and my sister's a Taurus, and I tend to like them.
Okay. Nobody likes Capricorn. That's a shame. Matter of fact, I'm planning on doing a video on Capricorn, because I feel like Capricorn doesn't get enough positive recognition. So yeah, I'm gonna try to balance the scales with Capricorn. Coffee or tea?
Neither. I don't.
Oh, what? Wait a minute. You don't drink coffee or tea?
No.
What? I'm like, wait a minute. You don't drink anything hot?
Mm-mm. Well, I'll
No
go
hot
with
cocoa?
tea. If I get sick or something, I'll do tea.
You'll do
I'll say
tea.
Yes.
Oh my God. I think you're the first person I met that don't drink anything hot like that, where it's not coffee or tea. Wow. So like, what do you drink in the morning?
Cold water.
Okay. All right. Aquarius or Cancer?
Aquarius.
Why?
My baby sister's Aquarius, and we're pretty tight, so I'm gonna go with Aquarius. Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel about Cancer?
I have never met a Cancer. I don't think so. Cancer was July, at the beginning of July.
Yeah, and late June.
My grandmother's a Cancer, so I'm gonna go ahead with Aquarius. I'm gonna
Wait, now I gotta look at your chart and see where Cancer is. Hold up. Okay, so you got, oh, that's right. You got Cancer in your fourth house and it's going into your fifth. Interesting. Have you ever dated a Cancer male?
I haven't. I'm dating or kind of
Interesting.
dating a Pisces, and
Okay.
that's uh,
How's that working out?
uh, it's an emotional roller coaster. I don't know.
I'll tell you one thing. You can have him eating out the palm of your hand.
Oh, really?
Do you see that in him?
Do I do what?
Do you see that in him where you could have him under your control?
Yes. Yes.
You could be pulling those strings. I was about to say dance, motherfucking dance. Sorry, Pisces man. I'm sorry. I don't mean it. But yeah, a Scorpio woman will have a Pisces man on his knees saying, "Baby, please, baby, baby, please."
He says my mouth is too much, though.
Oh,
I'm real
really?
outspoken. Yeah,
Oh, you know
yeah,
how
yeah.
sensitive they can be.
Very.
Yeah, damn. Does he drink?
No, he's a light drinker. Like he doesn't drink on a
Okay,
regular
good.
basis.
Good. He's
No,
not that type of Pisces. All right.
no.
So last one, sun or moon?
I like the moon.
Okay, so you're the second one that said moon. Why do you say the moon?
I think it's just sexy. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Something sexy about it. Calming. I like the
Mm-hmm.
moon. Mysterious.
It's interesting you said sexy because your moon's in Sagittarius, and that's a very sexy moon. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Okay.
have you vacationed on an island yet?
I've been to Jamaica.
Okay.
Loved it. That's the only island I've been to. I've been to Canada for my birthday, so that was nice. That's not an island, but I went to Canada. That was nice.
Okay.
So hope to do
For
some more
this
travel.
recent birthday?
Yes.
Okay. And let's close out with some of your New Year's resolutions if you have any.
I plan on getting this body back in shape.
Mm-hmm.
Exercising my mind a lot. I'm going to start writing more, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about, not sure, doing a YouTube channel with sexual health prevention for parents and teens.
Okay. All right.
So
And
that's
do
what
you
I'm
have
doing.
any advice for somebody that's been like out of the sex game for almost like 2 years, like me?
Well, I have been out there for a long time too. I would say go in doing exactly what you like and be open to something new. Be open to something new.
Yeah, what I learned, the older you get, the harder it is to, well, I'll just say for me, I can't just put myself out there like I used to and just be all fancy free and meet somebody and then get it on and stuff like that. I'm actually afraid at this point, I think.
Let me tell you, I'm I'm not, I know they say Scorpios like to have sex and they out there like that. I'm not one of them people. I like just one person.
Mhm.
And if you think you're sleeping with me, you're going to have to get an STD panel paperwork for me.
Mm.
You're not just going to sleep with me. Not at all. And
Wow.
people should ask. You need to get tested. I'll get my paperwork and get your paperwork. And then, then we can talk about sleeping with each other. But no, I'm not going to sleep with you just because you say I'm cute. Thank you. So,
Wow. Now, the
yeah.
reason why you said that, well, how well do you know your chart?
I don't know it very well.
Okay. Reason why you said that, like you want to see the papers, the doctor, the STD report, is because your sun is in Scorpio in the eighth house, which would normally make somebody, very hypersexual, all that. But your sun is ruling your sixth house. So sixth house deals with health. So that makes you very cautious about, okay, I'm not just going to lay down with anybody. You're going to have to show me that you're clean bill of health, all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
sorry. So you're one of those Scorpios that is cautious, and I'm glad that you are, because some people do believe that all Scorpios are freaks and all out there sexually and all that type of stuff, which is why you have to take the whole chart into account. And instead of just saying, oh, you're a Scorpio, I know you get down like that. So that's really cool that you're more conscious about that. And Scorpio is the sign of compulsion. So, but the fact that your sun is ruling the sixth house shows that you're able to not give in to any compulsions that you might have. And actually, you can channel that into your work, which is writing. So
Yes,
that's
I'm
pretty
very
dope.
disciplined. I can be very disciplined.
Right. And I noticed that a lot of people with strong Pisces energy, well, I'll say the women in particular, can be very disciplined sexually as well, where, you don't have to have sex all the time. You don't have to be always riding the cock carousel in order to feel like you enjoying life and all that type of stuff. So, yeah.
That is me. That is me.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview with me. And do you want to leave us with any inspiring messages, any motivational words?
I just want to say to all the young women out there, don't be afraid to run to yourself. Absolutely do it. Make sure it's what you want to do in life and not what somebody else wants. And as long as you understand what's going on, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, as long as you get it.
All right. I like that. So again, Andrea's books are Project Horror. I know this is backwards. The other one is Treasure Box. So where can someone purchase these books?
Amazon and Barnes and Noble's online.
Okay. So if you could send me the links to Amazon and Barnes and Noble with your book in the link, and then any like social media sites you have, so I could post it in the description when I upload this video, that would be great. So do you have like a Facebook page for your books or anything like that, or just as a writer, or any other social media pages?
I just have Instagram. I don't have Facebook.
Okay.
And my Instagram is my whole name. So.
Okay. All right. Well, again, I really enjoyed reading both of these books. Like I said, they were a page turner. So if anybody would love something to read, especially during the winter time, you just want to curl up in bed with a juicy book, I recommend both of these. And hopefully you will be putting out some more books because you definitely have a talent for writing. So I am just so impressed with your work, your storytelling, your character development, all of that type of stuff. So thank you very much again, and I wish you all the success in the world. Okay?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You are so welcome. So peace, many blessings, everyone. I'll be back with another intimate interview for next Sunday. Bye-bye.